What's going on, everyone? You guys are checking into the Laundry Room Podcast, where we promote artists and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Ashley, and here I have with me the talented, beautiful artist and fashion designer, Faroh.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? It's your girl Faroh. I'm here with the Laundry Room, and we're gonna have this amazing interview. Let's get into it.
Welcome, welcome. So
Thank
today
you.
we'll be talking about music and fashion, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So not only are you an artist, but you're the curator of Crym Studios, which is a clothing brand. What
Yes.
came to you first?
Well, I feel like both of them came simultaneously. I've been into fashion and music from a very young age. From about like the second grade, I played both the flute and the clarinet. So like music has always been something that's kind of been instinctual to me, and like it's always been a core fashion. Then as far as like my fashion stuff, it's like fashion was like just my earliest way to be able to like express my individualism. You know, like I was a thrift store baby, so it didn't matter. You know, I didn't need to have like the brand clothes, but I would still want to piece it together to, you know, like this my swag. Y'all gonna respect the swag. It don't matter where it come from. Y'all gonna like it. You know, so
No, I completely understand.
So both of those were like my early ways just to be able to express myself and really show, okay, I'm this individual and I want to stand out and I'm comfortable with standing out. So yeah.
Perfect. So how do you find a balance between being an artist and also being a fashion designer?
I don't feel like there's ever really a balance. You know, at times you have to sacrifice. There are sacrifices that you have to make, and it's like I can't ever really split either one 50-50. There's going to be days where I have to focus more on the other, and then I'm going to be, oh my God, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But it's like, okay, and sometimes when I'm supposed to be writing a song, all I can think about is different designs, and I'm like, okay, no, get into it, girl. No, less drawing, more writing. But it's like, you know, just find, okay, how am I going to make both these things work, and how bad do I want it? Like that's kind of the model that I always go back to. How bad do you want it? And it's like I got to pick, you know, which one do I want more at that time, and that's really, there's no balance. That's unfortunate, but yeah.
Perfect. So what do you feel like makes you stand out amongst other female artists?
Honestly, nothing. I'm just kind of in my own lane, and I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just seeing all these different female artists coming out. That's just them. And you know, we have so many different people that's just doing their own thing and just really letting their individualism or their style of music show, and it is such an amazing thing. So I'm just doing me and trying to be the best me that I could possibly be. And I think that's, you know, that's really how you get to the core of like what you're trying to do. I can't be nobody but the best me. So, and that's really the only person I'm in competition with. So when it really comes to it, like I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. I'm trying to, you know, be a better rapper than I was yesterday, because I can't compare myself to nobody, because nobody has the same life experience. Nobody has my cadence, nobody has my flow, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Let everybody just be themselves, stay in your own lane, do your thing, love it, yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you're very supportive of other women and
Absolutely,
females in the
always.
industry. Even in your music, you can hear that your support for women, and you talk about Queen and the power of women. Would you consider yourself a feminist?
In short, yes, but for a longer answer, no, because a lot of times historically, mainstream feminism has not included Black women in our needs. So it's hard to call myself a feminism, especially if I don't agree with with the direction of the things that's going on in third wave feminism. I feel like it's not diving deep enough, and it's not addressing the real problems that women have. And it's just, so, you know, in short, yeah, I'm a feminist, but let's keep doing. Let's keep working. Let's make feminism more inclusive. You know, and let's get some real work done. That's all.
Yes, I love it. So who would be more influential to your type of music? Like a Cardi B or a Queen Latifah? Like
Back to Miss Lauryn Hill. Yeah, I love Lauryn Hill, but I feel like if you can mix Lauryn Hill with a Missy Elliott, that would be like the perfect combo of like where I fall. Their music, Love Child, that would be like a dream. You know, it's still soulful and sensual, but we're still getting that Afro futuristic, type of beat. And I love that kind of fusion of style. It's amazing. Yeah, love that kind of sound.
Yes, I love it. So there's a lot of people with talent, and they go unnoticed. Do you feel like people with the most talent are always overlooked, especially when it comes down to artists?
Hell yeah, some of the most talented people ever get overlooked, and it's so freaking sad. And I think one of the reasons is like certain, you know, a lot of us like sensationalism. A lot of us, you know, it's not enough it factor, it's not enough wow factors. People can't just be good and be talented. You know, you have to have some kind of spark, and you know, and but I hope that it changes and a lot of people, you know, really get to really go there with their talent. And I think a lot of people, you know, sometimes they overlook themselves. They, you know, like Trey was saying, a lot of us aren't consistent. We stop believing in ourselves. We fall short. And I've had my personal times where I've been overlooked, or even when I was just overlooking myself, not, you know, not seeing the bigger picture of what I could bring to the table, or even, you know, who I could be or what my next level could possibly be. So yeah, absolutely.
I felt that. So do you think people are putting out more music to be consistent, or they're trying to be consistent and not really taking their time?
I think people are trying to be consistent in order to stay relevant. We kind of live in a social media era where artist turnover is a lot faster, so people need to kind of keep their faces out there, but I don't feel as if like a lot of quality music is coming out, especially because you know, it's social media. People are allowed to put out anything that they want, so a lot of stuff are oversaturated, but I do feel as if there is a lot of quality music coming out, and especially these new artists that are coming out, they're seeing, you know, more of the value of creating a classic. And I think a lot of people do want to have that iconic feeling, that classic feel, to make a song that's going to be memorable, rather than, you know, just these little trendy songs that get old after a month. So I am seeing like a shift, but I think social media did take a toll on, like, you know, people just trying to boom, 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 boom. Let's just get it. Let's get this money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that, because a couple of months ago, Jermaine Dupri, he had an interview where he was talking about Instagram models, and he was also talking about strippers, and how when they rap, the only thing they really talk about is their sex appeal, and that they're not really legit artists. How do you feel about him discrediting these models and strippers?
Well, I find it really funny, honestly, because it's like, it seems like no one is ever there to criticize the dope boys that became rappers, and they talk about their real life story. So how can you criticize women for talking about their real life story? And it, you know, I find it very particular that these men find, you know, they don't find a problem with them using and exploiting these women in their music videos in order for them to make money. But the moment that these women kind of reclaim the power back and they're putting money in their pockets, then it, you know, then it's a problem. And these men will also shout out, you know, other women who aren't as overtly sexual, and they'll use them as, you know, as a pedestal in order to judge these other women by, when in reality they don't support these women. They're just weaponizing, you know, their lack of sexuality in order to punish other women for being more overtly sexual. And it comes from a very disingenuous place. And, you know, it's like, who are you to say what's good music? That's subjective. And it's like, let everybody make their music, everybody get their money. It's like, you cannot exploit people forever. And, you know, and they're just mad that these women that they're so used to exploiting are finally in a position of power, and it makes certain people uncomfortable, honestly.
Absolutely, because majority of these type of women, they're making major moves out here, and it's like they're
to see it.
Yes, and they're moving to levels that, I'm sorry to say, men can't move to. So
we shaking tables in this generation.
Yes,
yeah.
So I definitely love to see that. But let's go ahead and talk about your song God Forbid. You say a particular line where you say, "She be more than beauty than body." What exactly were you trying to let your audience know, or your listeners know?
So in that line, I feel like it was very personal to me. The line goes, "God forbid she be more than beauty and body." And, you know, for me, that's a really powerful statement, because God forbid I be more than, you know, than just my aesthetic. Because for a long time, you know, people made me feel like I had to choose between, you know, being, you know, the intelligent girl that, you know, that's really good at her academics, that wanted that, you know, I go to FAU and I major in psychology and business administration. So it's like, for a long time, people made me feel like I had to pick either or, like I couldn't be. So I love dressing like a go-go girl and a hoochie mama sometimes, because shit, I like to dress up. But still, you know, like when it comes down to it, I'm gonna get this money, I'm gonna get my studies right. And it's like, for a long time, I felt like I had to choose, or, you know, just the way that people approach me because of a certain aesthetic, people will assume that you're not as intelligent as you are, or they'll make certain, you know, assumptions about you just based on your aesthetic. So it was very powerful to me to say, you know, God forbid that I'm more than you know, my outer physical appearance. God forbid that I'm way smarter than you, I spit better than you, and I got better ideas than you. But God forbid, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another one of your songs that stuck out to me the most was also Soul Worth. That song, what was your perception when you created it, especially in this heavenly world that we live in?
Well, as far as as Soul's Worth, that song, I feel like it came from a very real place because, I'm just thinking like, for one, Black Mirror is one of my favorite shows, and just thinking that we live in the age where we are buying $2,000 phones. Like, oh, cool, it got 3 cameras on the back, but it's like, at what cost? And is that really an acceptable amount to be buying a phone? And I think about stories like when a young man died because he was trying to get some Jordans, and people was literally fighting and killing each other over Jordans, over shoes. And that's a very scary thing to think about. And it's like, to what extent are we going to achieve these material successes? And and how do we quantify success? And it's like, in this society, especially with social media, everybody's trying to outflex the next person. So a lot of people, they just got all these material items that they can't even explain why they have it or why they need it. And we're throwing out clothes so much quickly, because guess what, I just bought this out for a picture. I need something now. I can't be seen in this no more. And it's kind of a very dangerous thing. So it's a great question to ask, like, what's your soul's worth? Like, how much are you willing to give in order to maintain these material possessions?
Yes, absolutely, and I think everyone should go and check out that song.
Thank you so much. It's on SoundCloud.
Yeah, especially even not just that song, but all of your other songs, because they
much.
all sound like they have so much meaning behind it.
I appreciate that.
But all in all, would you consider yourself to be a lyricist?
I would love to. I would love to consider myself a lyricist. I'm kind of weird with using that word, as I don't want people to come out and tell me, like, girl, you ain't no lyricist, you can't rap them weak ass bars. And I'm like, okay, I'm sensitive. Calm down, guys. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. But I would love to consider myself a lyricist. And when I do sit down, and to pin my shit, like that's what I got in mind. Like, I'm a lyricist. I'm coming in, I'm spitting these bars. I'm really going to try to continue to get better at what I do. Like, just like any passion that you have, like, I literally want to work at this and become the best that I could be, the best rapper that I could possibly be, the best lyricist. Let's get it. Let's make that happen. I'm willing to put the work in. So I would love to call myself that, but I'm a little bit weary, but we'll see.
I want to move on and talk about fashion with you. You are definitely setting trends with Crym Studios.
Thanks.
First and foremost, where did the name come about?
Crym Studios, I knew I wanted like just a one word, that perfectly described what I wanted my brand to be. And crime just sounded so perfect. And where the idea kind of came about was, okay, it's a crime to be. It's a crime to just wear what you want and express how you want to be. It's a crime to be beautiful and think that you're intelligent and move a certain way. It's a crime to to wear certain skin in this life. So thinking of these really things that should be societal norms but are looked at societal crimes, that's kind of where the name came from. And I was like, okay, I want to create a collective place where people who don't normally feel represented, or people who don't normally feel as if society makes them feel as an other. I wanted to create a brand that felt expressive of those people and the style that they might want to wear.
I love it. So what was the first thing that you did as far as the process when creating Crym Studio?
I actually started designing before I even thought of a name or anything, because I couldn't think of a name. So I was like, all right, fudge it. I have to start designing. I have to start somewhere. So I found templates off the internet of like little fashion sketch models, and then I started sketching, and I would just close my eyes and try to envision, okay, what would I want to wear? Like, because at the time when I first really started making Crym, it was a place of also boredom of what I was seeing within the fashion industry, and I was like, okay, pause. I don't want to wear none of this ish, but I'm like, okay, but I have some stuff in my head that I would love to wear.
Yes.
So, it came from wanting to create my own designs, and then also wanting to create, more comfortable clothing that everyone can wear, and more encompassing of that.
Absolutely. So when making your clothing designs, what type of looks do you typically go for? Is it like an urban look, like a retro look, or a vintage look?
I would say that like my clothes, it kind of encompasses like maybe like a 90s and disco go girl feel with some futuristic aspects, and blending those because I do feel like as if they have a lot of similar properties. So I love that kind of futuristic looking look. Like, okay, oh, she's out of this world, and we love to see it. And I also love making clothes that fit comfortably.
Yes.
I would call it like high fashion athleisure. And the clothes that I make, I try to make it very very transformative. You could either wear it in the daytime with some sneakers, or you could put on some heels and you're like, oh, you the bad bitch. Oh, I see you. So, you know, and I also try to make my clothing very comfortable, very stretchy, very, you know, very free, because I don't like, you know, the clothing to be restricted. If we're going to be bad, let's at least, you know, be able to be a bad bee and, you know, and move around and have fun.
Be
and
comfortable with it.
Exactly. And let's still make sure this shit looks snatched, and, you know, and I also try to make sure that it fits a wide range of bodies, you know, because I love to be inclusive. You know, we out here for all the girls.
Okay, so I like the fact that you said futuristic, especially one of your designs, which is the powered bodysuit. It gave us that futuristic look with the bathing suit, and then you added the straps. What was your concept behind that? Because you add straps, like the book bag straps, to a lot of your designs.
When I first came out, I just wanted something really different. I was like, okay, what are people not doing? I'm like, okay, there has to be an element that I can add to my clothing that's going to make it very signature. So the buck was just kind of like, it kind of just was really the simplest thing, well, not simplest, but the best fitting thing that I could do, that gave my items a very dope aesthetic, and I love that. And as far as the power bodysuit, when I got to designing that, I knew I wanted something very transformative. That that bodysuit is actually being able to be worn in I think 6 or 7 different styles, which is amazing. I wanted something, you know, okay, if this is not your style, if this isn't the ideal style for you, you can wear however you need to, and however to hold them girls up, however that's going to make your body type and your body shape look the absolute best.
Absolutely, and I love the strap, the little strap thing. I love it. It makes your designs just stand out. Aside from it being that futuristic look, it also gives that retro look, and I love it. So, your latest design, which is the weekend dress. What were your thoughts when creating that outfit?
Oh yes, I wanted to create a very dreamy signature dress. So when it came to the weekend dress, it was a fabric that, like, the moment that I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. And I love sunsets. Like, I feel like there's nothing that could beat like a beautiful sunset. I could watch that over and over and over again. And as far as the name Weekend, it's actually a combination of weekend as in Saturday and Sunday, and weekend as in to weekend someone. So it was kind of combo of that. You know, girl, you finna go out on the weekend, you finna turn up, this is the dress for you. You want to make him weak, you want, you know, you want to walk through the you know, through wherever you're going, looking like a vixen, looking like a siren, weakening everyone that looks at you. This is the dress for you. So it was kind of combo of that, like, girl, turn up, look good.
So who would you consider your biggest influence in the fashion world?
That's kind of hard, but definitely Bad Girl Riri. You know, I love me some Rihanna. She is such a baddie, and she's such an inspiration. I love risky and out of the box fashion, and but still, you know, being able to, on any day I want, I'm gonna wear something comfy. You might catch me in a bathing suit and some short shorts one day, but next day I'm gonna be in, you know, with some sweats and some jackets for the next week because I feel like it. And I also love how she was able, you know, to just transform her own love of fashion into a fashion empire. So I completely admire that. So I would definitely say she's definitely top tier.
Yeah, and I can definitely see the comparison because, of course, Rihanna is an artist as well, and she's in the fashion industry. So I could see the resemblance. So
things, career goals.
Yeah. So is Rihanna somebody you would probably like to collaborate with in the future, or is there any other designers you would want to collaborate with?
Among fashion, yeah, Rihanna is definitely top tier of someone I would love to collaborate with, and a lot of smaller brands, like Jacquemus, for example, is a super dope brand that's always bringing out some super trendy things, and a lot of like black female owned brands. I would love to collaborate with them in the future. There are too many to list, but there are so many different people that I would love to collaborate with when I do hopefully one day have my fashion house / empire.
Yeah, so how do you motivate yourself to keep going?
I always think about my mom and my 2 little sisters. My mom has always been a super resilient woman. So seeing the effort that she's put in, I know that you know, there's no excuses. There's no excuses in how far she's gone with the little resources that she's been giving. So I know that, you know, the life that she's provided for me, that I have to go even further. And I have 2 little sisters that I feel like I have to set an example for. I have to be the one that breaks this generational curse. If not, you know, I need to set at least a good example for them to break it. So yeah, they're definitely, like, I'm a big family person, so those ladies right there, definitely huge motivation to why I keep going.
Okay, so where do you see yourself, if you can think about it, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
in the next couple of years, I see myself traveling the world, performing, writing, reaching so many of the pinnacles that I have in store for myself. Reaching, setting different records, achieving awards. Fingers crossed, and absolutely at least being able to tell my mom that she could retire. At least that, if anything,
yeah. Yes, that's definitely something we all want for our
Yes,
parents.
please, that's it.
So, can you see yourself at New York Fashion Week, especially with
hell
Crym
yeah. Give me my time, give me my moment. When that time comes, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna fuck the summer up.
No, I felt that. So, if you could give your creativity a name, what would you name it?
Faroh Niggas. I feel like my name and who I am just perfectly embodies what creativity is. Creativity comes in so many different forms. Just be truest to yourself, and just really go within yourself and just unleash it. No matter what you think, like how people are going to react to it, there's always a niche of people that are going to find your content and who you genuinely are interesting and enough. So that just be you.
Yes, and absolutely, there's always somebody watching, and it's either they're supporting it or they stealing your idea.
Yep.
Sorry to say, but
and we hate to see it.
Yeah. So if a kid walked up to you asking for your advice and you only had a few minutes to give them your best tip, what would it be?
My best tip would have to be every single day that you wake up, cherish it. Cherish even the little things that you don't find yourself regularly being thankful for. Be thankful, because when you walk with an attitude of gratitude, you see outer changes in that, and the way that you walk in the world and the blessings and things that you're able to attract into your life when you are already grateful for what you have. Because you walk with such a positive attitude, with such an open attitude, and you subconsciously just attract more. You subconsciously go out of your way to continue to make sure that these things that you are blessed for, that you continuously have them, that you continuously receive more. And sometimes when people get into such a negative mindset, they become their own worst enemies, and they hinder themselves from success. So I find being gracious just for even the little things that I have, like I said, waking up every single day and having the opportunity to just change my life and achieve the things that I want to do is such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, and I can totally agree with you. All right, you guys, that's Faroh stepping into the laundry room. Leave us on a positive note, or is there anything you want to add on?
Shout out to everybody that's out here on the grind. Like, do not stop. Like, I know that it may get hard, but tomorrow might really be your day. And nonetheless, thank you so much, Ashley, for having me here at the laundry room. You guys, do not forget to support. Please watch this podcast. Please support all of Ashley's future ventures. She's such an amazing and intelligent person. We love to see it.
Thank you so much, and it was definitely a pleasure having you on here. Where can everybody keep up with you at, and just check out more of your work, especially your fashion?
Definitely. You guys can check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is the Faroh. That is TheFaroh, the Faroh, and my clothing line is Crym Studios. Crym is spelled CRYM Studios. We're on the internet, and you can just Google us. And my music is also out on all platforms, including Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Check it out. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for checking into the laundry room. Make sure you guys follow Faroh at the Faroh and Crym Studios. Again, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you guys. And if you guys love this interview, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment, leave a review, and let us know what you're watching.
Hey.
Young nigga, will you ever learn? Will you ever learn?